Hey guys, what's going on? This is Cheney 180 and
The Fallen Fed. Hey guys, what's up?
I am here. It's your friendly neighborhood prospect playing with myself.
we have a very special guest with us today. We have the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend,
The internet breaker.
David Vonner. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome here. Always.
I have no handle, but I usually just go as Vonner, so
Okay.
that's good enough.
Yes, sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today, right?
Wow, do we?
Yeah. There's been all kinds of things that have happened since since we recorded Wednesday night. So, before we get there, Ernie, what's going on with our Chamigos?
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining us and welcome to the show. It is Quickie Mini, episode number 95. Yes, with special guest, Mr. Vonner himself. So guys, let's hurry up and get checked in. And how do we get checked in? Remember to hit that thumbs up just like I did. If you're new to the show, welcome. Say hello. Become a Chatmigo. If there's any questions that you have or anything, you drop it right there in the chat. We will try to address you, or a Chatmigo will address you. Now, if there's something that's got to be said immediately, you see that $sign right there? Hit that. That's a super chat, and we will stop the show and go over your statement, question, whatever it may be. So remember, guys, hit that thumbs up, go share with your friends, and let's get right into it. Checking in today, we got EK, Adam, Laser Pants, Dark Bulb, Disavowed Action Figures. Sean, the bomb dropper, has joined us. What's up, Sean? Nick's Figs, Brad Harper, Salvador Sandoval, Laser Pants, Colossal Customs, Thunder Crow, Born to Hula, Captain McKay's in the house, Cerrone Games, Future Sammy. Good morning, Future Sammy. Let's see. Toying Around is here. How's it going? Smash Lab Creations in the house. Make sure everybody follows Smash Lab Creations and checked all his work out. Gary Foster is here. Let's see. Renee Garcia, Mr. William, Chicken Burger Disco. My favorite name in the world. The Wrestling Hound. Let's see who else is here. Dr. Jones is here. And everybody is checked in. So go share now with your friends, guys. We have Mr. Vonner on as a special guest. We got a lot to go over.
Indeed.
Maybe we'll talk about a Batman or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Possibly.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see. All right.
All right. What's happening? How's everybody feeling?
Good, man.
See, I can't see who's like on because I don't have like I can't see the live chat for some reason. So
Let's
me
see.
myself, I'll be flying blind, I guess.
Let's try and fix that actually.
Yeah, we can message you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be.
Can you send him the link, Adam?
I'm on it.
Okay. All right. Then you'll be fully enthralled in what is here. So you'll be able to see what's
While we
going
get
on
that,
in the chat.
Lago Figs has joined us. Troy Flores, Ronald Ramos, B. Rivera.
Awesome.
Can I just say what up to everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for all of your comments and feedback, and even for the guys who didn't like it, thank you for your comments and feedback. And we're all the community. We all love this stuff. So, thank you.
All right. So should we just get it out the gate first?
Absolutely.
All right. What's up with this Batman? Or Batman?
Well, what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
There's going to be tons of questions in chat.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. All right, now I can.
Yeah.
All right,
you click it and you get on there so that way you can start to see everything. But
I'm on there now. That's why I'm kind of.
Yeah, this I mean, like just to start it up, this thing is years old. Like
Okay.
years.
Yes.
It looks
What are we
beautiful.
talking
So, okay. So, I mean, yeah, do you want me to start, Adam, or do you want?
Yeah, you go, man. Go. You take it. You're the guest.
Yes.
I'm just a prospect here, man.
Okay. All right. So, this Batman is kind of, well, it's not kind of, it is. It's a love letter, man. It's a love letter to, DC, to to Warner Brothers, to Mattel, to the action figure community, to all that. Personally, Batman has always been, just inspirational character, and not just, just an iconic, superhero and all that other stuff, but usually, people who really, really dig Batman, you got people who really, like the character, but then it's like a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And of
Mm-hmm.
course, we like the things that are pretty cool. Like he can, fight and he's fearless and he has all this money and all this other stuff. But, when you go deeper, man, it's like you really can connect with what the creators had laid out and put into the character. And you attach to it, and you find inspiration and or aspiration from the character, and Batman is a type of character that's, the entity, just the embodiment of the character has been around for so long, and it's been impressed on us throughout generations. Like my mom, I always mention this, because I can't talk about any of this pop culture stuff without mentioning my mom, because she's the originator. She's the one that introduced me to everything.
It's amazing.
So my mom was a kid. She was born in the early 50s. So she would go to the theater and see the old Batman serials, and remember all that stuff, and then she watched it. She was there during the 60s, the old 60s show. And then, being a kid of the 70s, being born in the 70s, and those of us were born in the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, like that 60s cartoon was just everywhere. I mean, that was Batman for us,
Mm-hmm.
and also like growing up, being the Saturday morning cartoon kid and Super Friends and, everything. So like DC, particularly Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, like they have been, just part of our collective consciousness for, for my forever, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So then, when, having being, witnessing to, all of this DC stuff that, especially being close to it, from the Mattel standpoint, but, just like the intimacy of it through just how we are as fans, as collectors, as all that stuff, it's like, we just love the character. So, it's like, DC has kicked off like everything, like, the old stuff, the TV shows, the 70s Superman movie, the 80s Batman movie, like that's where it all kind of kicked everything off. So now it's it's frustrating, it's upsetting that DC or its characters or property, for whatever reason, certain properties just can't or don't have the footing that we would want it to have as a
Right.
collective community. And I mean, all the division aside, I love DC, I love Marvel and all that other stuff, or who's doing what, it's just, man, it's like, as a kid growing up, it's like I loved comic books, but I also love toys. I love seeing stuff that was in the best catalog and all that, or the Sears catalog. And, I would see things in there that I would wish and hope that I always wanted. But, if I got it, I got it. But, if I didn't, it was, I just wish that I got the other one, you know what I mean? But I
Mm-hmm. You're,
never crapped on the stuff that was in there.
you're
So
about
now
to make Ernie cry right now.
Those are my favorite, were the catalog days.
oh man, I love that, man. I mean, I love those catalog days because it just like, we played with the toy before we even had it.
Mhm.
It was already in our mind. Like we already imagined ourselves opening up and playing with it and sharing with our friends and all that stuff. And kind of in part, that was the reason why I wanted to share this, to have that kind of like feeling of, man, I want that. Like that's what
Right.
I want.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's exactly how I felt when I saw these images. I was like,
right.
"What is this, and how come I never owned it?"
Right. And just to be clear, man, this was never to, to jockey what's better than the other, or, I did this and they didn't go this way, man. It's been a professional dream, a lifelong dream to be able to, you know, work on Batman or DC in any kind of form, but a professional goal and dream to be able to, you know, somehow be a part of that and push it forward, you know, in the way that, you know, I kind of would envision it to go, you know. So, you know, because that love is there, that passion is there, you know, and also the love of just toys and everything else. So, you know, flash forward to, you know, the whole Mattel thing, um, like, because this really goes before any of this. Like, you know, a year, like 2 years prior to me even working at Mattel, I was already kind of like in the process of potentially working there, you know, and
Okay.
being a part of, well, actually being a part of the DC team, you know.
Nice.
But and I interviewed for it several times and everything, but you know, it didn't work out. And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, the WWE position kind of opened up, you
I'll
know.
tell you
So
what, to cut you off, unfortunately, but that's their loss, man. You would have been killer on the DC team.
well, I mean, you know, hindsight's always 2020, but you know, it could have been the same scenario, could have been different, who knows,
True.
you
Very
know.
true.
But you know, that was kind of like the thing. So when I got hired at Mattel, you know, and I, you know, I'm a WWE fan. I grew up with it and everything. And I'm a big 80s, you know, I'm a just pop culture freak of any generation, actually. You know what I'm saying? But and I dig WWE and I appreciate it. But you know, sitting that close to DC and also why I originally wanted to be there, like that was always like, you know, something that I just wanted to be a part of, even in just like the collaboration aspect of it. Like I don't even have to be on the team, just let's collaborate, you know,
Hmm.
let's do something. You know what I'm saying? And like let's push it forward. So I'm sitting because I'm seeing all this, you know, and prior to me even working there, like I remember when I was at Hasbro, you know, and we had worked on the Kazar playset, you know, the Savage Land playset.
I remember that.
And there was at one point after that, you know, after our panel, and we kind of had this crazy, weird like powwow between Mattel and DC, you know, because they also had an exclusive that year as well. I can't remember what it was, but you know, we all kind of, it was like some wild west stuff. Like we standing there in this line, and I just like, hey, what's up? You know, my name's Dave, and kind of shook everybody's hand. We started talking, and then I was like, man, it'd be so dope, man, if we could do, you know, like a Justice League, Avengers, Marvel, DC, Mattel, Hasbro, you know, crossover,
Oh
you
my
know, like
gosh.
together, and we just like, you know, put all the proceeds to like charity and all that stuff. You know, one company designs like, you know, each other's stuff, and so it'll be fair, and and we just do it together. And it's
It'd
not
be
like
fun,
outside
yeah.
from a possibility because Marvel and DC did that before, and like with, you know, several times, not only with publishing but with business. Like Marvel and DC jointly own the term superhero, like
Hmm.
they own that, you know. So and it had to be a meeting of the minds for that to happen. So if it could be done then, why couldn't it be done now? So I had kind of said that, and literally everyone kind of looked at me like I had three heads, you know, like that's ridiculous. It could never happen. So, you know, but that was always something I always wanted from the X-Men Teen Titans comic. Like I always would,
Oh.
like that would be so dope to have the X-Men and the Teen Titans together in figural form. And that
Hmm.
really crystallized for me back at Hasbro when Adam and I worked on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, because that just had never had happened prior. And it just boggled our minds why no one ever pushed that. So again, it was
Yeah,
like
Miss Lion.
so, you know, again, it just boggled my mind why we can't do a Marvel DC thing. Like why not? You know,
Right. Right.
why can't we? You know, but that's what happens when lawyers and everything else gets involved. And from that aspect, I can understand, even though I don't agree with it.
Right.
So, you know, but you know, dating back to even, you know, my days at Toy Biz, you know, we would always go to Midtown Comics to buy comic books, and actually I didn't even get Marvel bundles when I was at Toy Biz because they were always gone. Nobody wanted the DC bundles, so I had tons of those. And I actually used to steal them from my boy Junius Ortiz, you know, like he used to have tons of DC stuff. And I actually used to steal his. He didn't know they were missing. So that actually got me into DC big time by working at Marvel. And then during that time, that's when Hush came out.
Ooh, okay.
And it was like, that was such an event because we had like, you know, the Wolverine thing going on with his origin and all that. And then Jim Lee was doing Hush. And it was over like this whole new era in comics when we went back to like these dope events and cool story and super cool art. You know what I mean? And Jim Lee was doing Hush, and that was like a big deal, and I loved it. You know,
Oh,
and
it
I
was a
like,
huge deal.
Right. And that right there was like, man, I wish we could do Batman. And we all kind of said that, like, man, if we could do Batman, if we could just do not even all of DC, but if we could do this, yo, we could just destroy everything. Because I remember there was a shot of in Hush where Jim Lee had drew like on this carousel all of the Batmobiles throughout all the eras and shows.
I remember that.
And it was just like, man, can you imagine offering that? Just that. Like just that carousel of all those Batmobiles throughout time. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it was just from a toyetic standpoint, it's just crystal like gold. And clearly it is because Kenner had so many years of success with that and later on like Mattel and stuff. So, you know, so it was always just there, you know, it was always something that was intriguing and just like, you know, in the atmosphere, but you just can't touch it, you know? So now, you know, interviewing at Mattel and not getting the DC position, but getting the WWE position was like, man, it's like, it's right there. So again, it's like right in the atmosphere, but I can't touch it, but it's right there. But I can see it, you know, as it's developing and I'm getting, because I'm still viewing it from a particular point of view, a particular vantage point, I'm still viewing it from a fan. So I'm not really as intimate as I am with it as I am with WWE, because I know everything that's going on with that. You know, I know everything, you know, but I don't know anything that's going on with WWE. I'm sorry, with DC, just what I'm seeing. But I'm just seeing it first before everyone else. And it's still like that feeling of, man, I just wish that, you know, I wish I could do this, or, you know, why isn't this like that? You know what I'm saying? And just that fan feeling. And especially when you have the means to be able to actually apply what you imagine to something 3D and physical, it's even more like jittery and frustrating.
Oh yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? So, and Adam, and not speaking for Adam, but I feel as though that he kind of had the same thing. Like, man, it's like we're all right close to it, but why is that suffering when we could do it in slightly different ways and make it so much more, I don't want to say better, but just shift it a bit, just shift things,
evolve it.
Right, but just like shake up the dice, throw it, and see what happens. You know what I mean? But just shake it up a little bit, and so being that we kind of all felt this way. Well, I felt this way. I'm sure Adam felt this way, and just you know, and also the nature of what we do. I mean, what we do, we're kind of privy to a lot of things that, you know, the normal, you know, or just everyone else isn't privy to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the guys that's behind it. We know the guys that's intimate with it. Like, we know the process and everything. So it's a little bit different. So you know, to a degree, it can even be more frustrating.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know, it was like, hey man, let's do this, but let's showcase it not just how we want it to be or what it should be, but let's put that love into it, like everything, like the way that is sculpted by Renee and painted by Beardy. Like, it's just like everything that you would want your figure to embody, or what you feel as though Batman embodies, like that's it. And not just, well, I want to go by this artist or that artist or whatever, just like what we would want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what just how we see it. By what was left out there from the creators and all those amazing stories and all those cartoons and all those TV shows and watching the movies over and over and over again. Like really just like, embodying that and expressing that, so it was done. And the way that it was offered was like, hey, like I sat on it for about a week, and I was like, man, it's like I didn't want this to be like an ego thing, like, because when you're dealing with creatives, like that's what and
Right.
guys who are like, it's this is their baby, this is their territory, this is, what I mean? So I don't want to approach it like, I'm trying to be forceful, like force my hand, but like this is not that. This is a collective, this is a love letter. Like this is showing not only the love and the passion, but the frustration.
It looks like it. I mean, it looks like, I mean, every tone has been hit here. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
saw this and I was like, where did this come from? How come I haven't seen it before? And how come I don't own this? Like
Right.
this would have been the definitive Batman in my collection for who knows how long.
Right. Because I mean, like, when you are on the team, and like it's different when it's like when it's a competitive, like I'm really competitive and shit, so
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like to lose. Like, I hate that shit. Like I hate, like, I'm sorry, I just cuss, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're
That's
good.
right.
You're good.
I'm getting emotional because it's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
This is one of those of, like you said, it's more than just to show it off and to say why it's here. Like this was a labor of love, and everybody who came together and put this together, like this is it. I think the best comment that I've seen so far from the chat Migos was the comment saying, if this came out, my collection would look way different right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great statement to say, because yeah, if this came out and this was the definitive Batman back then to have, that's very true. It could have swayed a lot.
Right.
Yeah. How old
but
is
also,
this?
But also too, man, it's like, I just wanted to be able to present this like, I mean, I hate to phrase it like this, but like a life jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't keep going out like this.
Right.
Because now I'm part of the team.
Right. Exactly.
Like a part of the Mattel family. And it's like, everybody's coming for our neck right now. Like everyone is coming for us. So why can't we just collectively do something? Because that's what we did at Hasbro. Like when we got like the Marvel license, like everybody was on deck for Spider-Man on every team.
Mm-hmm.
Every team was on deck for Spider-Man. It was no question.
Yeah.
And now you see the results. Like now you see it. But it was like, for me being there, I just didn't feel that. I didn't feel like everybody was on deck for this.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was because it's a brand that we own and not a brand that we rent and not own. I mean, I don't know, but I kind of felt like where's the passion? Everybody should be on board with this right now, because this is like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like,
it's one of the most iconic characters out there.
Right.
Period. Like,
right. So I kind of felt like, the movies were doing like their thing, and the movie figures were like, I just felt like instead of being vocal about it, maybe I can do it in a different way. And maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I should have been like super vocal about it.
we have a very generous super chat from Mervine. He said, "This is for the swear jar for David Vonner." on his behalf.
I'm sorry. How many times did I cuss? How many times?
No,
Nah,
you're good. You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. It's just
Dallas also said, "Well, hold on, wait a minute. This isn't Superman. Where's Superman?"
right. But I mean, like, this is like really emotional because it's like, guys, like you're viewing it from the outside, but it was like this kind of affected me personally.
Right.
Like personally, like even when we lost the license, like that kind of affected me personally. With the aftershock of that.
So when was this made, and when was it supposed, or when was it kind of like scheduled to be lined up? Or did they just shut it down as soon as you showed it to them?
Well, it was made a while ago. Like it was this, from Adam's standpoint, it was done. I mean, for playing myself, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
fine. No, I'm Adam on here.
and all that.
But yeah, it was like on our side, Gentle Giant developed these prototypes, just for fun, basically, like we didn't have anything lined up. There was nothing, like no contracts, no nothing. Like this was just, we wanted to work on some DC stuff. We'd previously done DC Direct things, but most of the DC Direct stuff was either video game based or animated based, so it wasn't like main universe DC. And we're guys that we're into this, and we wanted to work on DC toys. So the prototyping team behind this on the GG side is myself, Renee, and Beardy. So it's the same guys that do Mortal Ruin, the same guys that did Articulated Icons, that work on a ton of Marvel Legends and stuff. And it's like, this was, like people keep looking at this and they're like, oh, this looks a lot like Marvel Legends. And it's like, yeah, guess what, guys? It's because we work on Marvel Legends too. And, like this is years ago and we worked on these things. And it's like, yeah, this was a project that we, like, it wasn't like anyone was getting paid for it. We just made it. So yeah, it looks like some other things, and there's a reason why. It's because it's the same guys working on it. So that's the main thing from our side. But Vonner is the man where he tried his best to make this happen, and like that's why I love the man.
Yeah. So from after that, Adam, sent it over to me, and I was thinking about it for a while, like how I'm going to approach it, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to, make it appear as though like I'm trying to, plant a flag or anything like that.
Right. You don't want to mess up what other teams have going on and everything. So it's a real touchy subject, because it's like,
right.
Here I have like one of the most amazing looking Batman figures that we could put out, but how do I approach this? Like, how do I walk in and say, hey, yeah, this is better than anything you guys are doing. We should do this.
Right.
Like, that's obviously not the way to do it, but it's like, it looks like it was. I mean,
right. And then also too, like you got to realize, man, like in the back of my mind, since day one, I'm thinking like I wanted to be on the DC team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also in my mind too. So day in and day out, by that being there and then seeing what's going on, I'm like, it's picking at me. Like it is literally picking at my head, like
right.
in my brain.
Right.
But I'm not really letting it be known, so I handed it directly to the director, and like, hey man, look, like, this is for you, take it, do what you got to do, like sell it in, use it as a tool, use it as a, as a tool to try to convince DC that we're going to go in a different direction, use it as a way to, as a model. I don't care, but you use it in a way where it's beneficial for us.
Yeah, do something good with it.
Something. So I handed it over, and time went by, and then time went by. And also, keep in mind, like, I'm not visible from my vantage point of what's going on between Mattel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, internally, if there's anything going on. So, um, and then one day is like I hear that we lost the license, and then I hear that Spin Master got the license,
Yeah.
and then I hear McFarlane has a license, and so it was like when this figure was done, like McFarlane wasn't even in the view, the rear view mirror, like McFarlane wasn't even in the picture, but we were all been inspired by McFarlane. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't deny that.
Right.
So, um, when McFarlane got the license, it was for me, it was like, yeah, like let it go to someone who is known for bucking the system.
Yeah. Yeah. Let it go to someone who's actually going to really do something with the license.
Right, because I mean, like it goes back to the Hush thing. When Batman Hush came out, I got it. I mean, it was cool. It was super dope that it was Batman, but it was even better that it was Jim Lee doing Batman.
Yes. Yes.
So if Todd McFarlane is going to do Batman, like I want to see Todd McFarlane's Batman. Like that's what I want. I want to see that. I want to see the crazy cape. I want to see all that. I
And
want
all
to
the
see,
knives.
right. I want to see it. I mean, whether you agree with him or not, or like
Right.
it or not, it's him.
It's
And,
still
and
his representation.
right, but not only his representation, but also his means of development, his means of engagement, his
Right.
means of business. Like, like another thing, like that's one reason why I dig Topic Farley, because the way he engaged with the fans. It's like I can't tell you how frustrating it is to work for a company that doesn't do stuff like that. Just the small things, like the small things to engage with the fans. Like maybe that would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like let's let's stop hanging on these old archaic ways that's really hampering the culture and the business. Let's excavate new ways of engaging with the consumer, engaging with the fans, find new ways to get it to retail. We can't hang our hats on, TRU being closed. Like, all right, it's done, it's over with. Let's
Yeah.
find something new. Let's find a new way of engaging. Like you guys kind of paved the way with Matty Collector. Now
Yeah.
Hasbro Pulse is killing them.
Yep.
So it's like, these frustrations were there.
Yeah.
And so it just boggled my mind. It just boggled my mind, man. And then personally, after that fallout happened, like everything changed, like the team shook up, and then that's when everything just got really weird and crazy
Mm-hmm.
internally. But for me, like that was kind of it. Like, when we lost that license, like it lost, in a sense, it lost me too. That was a blow, man. That was a super blow to us, like to the business, to our reputation, to everything. And no one kind of like, everyone just kind of brushed it off, was like, okay. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
that's
but I mean, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but I took it personal.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially when you put something like this in their hands. You know what I mean? Like this, there's no question in my mind that a majority of the people listening right now would have bought this figure. If they would have shown this, it would have been like, okay, cool, I'm in. Ernie
Right.
definitely would have been in, right, Ernie?
Oh yeah, all over it.
Adam would have been in because he made it. So, I mean, a lot of people, like if they would have, like the fact that they never even did anything with it, man, is just, it's sad.
And that's what gets me is like, nothing beats a failure but a try.
Right.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. Like if for whatever reason the relationship isn't there with Warner Brothers or the DC consumer product scene, whatever. I mean, we could have. I mean, could we have engaged with them differently? Could we, shook things up and added a little, different individuals to the team? It's like, you know, just on a personal standpoint, it's like I know the people over there. Like I know the people over in DC. Like I know them. Like I know them. You know, and just the fact that, you know, that wasn't that all hands on deck kind of thing. Like, yo, you got the guy who got the track record. Why not use him?
Yep.
And I don't want to like tote that and flaunt that, but it's like when you're in a fight, you don't fight fair. You use whatever's around.
You fight to win.
So I just felt like that fight to win just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And that frustrated me to no end.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that, you know, you can put these out there and be like, hey guys, this could have been a home run. You know, this could have been a home run.
Right. I mean, because it's like, and then when you compound it with everything else, like, you know, it's like we got, you know, and this is known. I mean, this isn't me talking about things that's unknown, but it's like we got these issues with He-Man, you know what I mean? And we have DC, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we have the most iconic properties. Why? You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to stop being sophisticated and really bring things down to basic, like kiss it, keep it real simple.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we don't need to have all the sophisticated stuff or all these sophisticated plans and ideas. Like we don't need that. And sometimes I felt like a lot of the times, a lot of the decisions were too smart for everyone's own good. You know, and to me, that kind of culminated. Like I don't really know on the ins, and I don't want to blame anybody and say that, but it's just like that's just how I felt. Like me, that's how I felt. Just on what I was seeing in the results of that. Like, why didn't we just and also too, I mean, like guys on the DC team was dope. Like creative, knowledgeable, all that. Like crazy dope. But sometimes, man, you have to. One of the reasons why we were able to have success at Toy Biz is because we were allowed the space to thrive. That was it. That was it. I mean, our boss was still driving us. Joanne was hard on us. She did nothing but push us hard. But at the same time, we were allowed that space to thrive. And at Hasbro, I mean, I was allowed the space to thrive. I mean, you can see it. You can actually tell, not just at big companies, but anywhere. You can see when there's times when people are allowed to thrive. And Tommy McFarlane says that all the time. Like, that's what he says since day one. If you just get out the way, just get out the way, let me do what I do. Trust me. Trust me, I can come up with something that's really cool that people may like. And if they like it, they just might want to buy it. They just might want to buy it. And it's nothing wrong. Like I had a designer tell me that at Mattel. Like, yo, if you just get out the way, I'm telling you, before we even started the project, he said, if you just get out the way, I can do this. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right.
We got a very generous super chat from Ronald Ramos. He says, what I like seeing is how these guys working on figures aren't just insanely talented. They are also super passionate for fans by fans. I'm going to hunt me down that Toy Biz War Machine.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we are, I mean, well, I'm not going to say we. I'm going to say me because I know myself. I can speak for myself.
Adam is not passionate at all.
No, you can
But,
speak to we, Vonner, because you've got your. Don't forget to talk about we are top 5 toys because we are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get into all that, but you know, we are passionate because we love this. We're creatives. We're using a different side of our brain, but also too, man, it's like, you know, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Like my family has been supported off this shit, off this stuff. I'm sorry.
It's all right, man.
So it's more than just showing up, you know, and playing with something, designing something, and putting it out there for people to buy. I mean, no toy starts off bad. Like no toy starts off bad. Nothing. Like none. Even like the worst figure you could find, I can guarantee you it was super dope in the beginning. It was super dope. But it was a death by paper cuts.
Mm-hmm. Little pieces chopped off here and there.
Right. And it's even more, harmful when you have one sector of the company who is all about pushing creativity and innovation, but then you have another sector, a crucial sector of the company that is so archaic and stuck in their ways that nothing's going to move forward. Now you got this culture clash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what happens, man. Like, is that's what kind of happens and product suffers, like the brand suffers.
Right. Look at what happened. It's like you're saying, they.
And also too, one reason why I'm so passionate about, another reason why I'm so passionate about it is because, and I say this all the time, like I want, we are living in the age of the 70s and 80s and 90s. It's like, where are we gonna go from here? Where are we gonna go? Like what's gonna be the new IP, the new brand, the new way of doing business? Like, all these, brick and mortar places are closing.
Right.
The way of doing 20th century business is over with. We gotta find a new way. We gotta find the new brand, the new IP, the new way of doing business. And if we can't handle these legacy brands, how are we going to develop anything new?
You're not. Man, the companies they're gonna struggle. You got, there's good companies out there doing stuff with new IPs. And unfortunately, like you're saying, these bigger companies, they're not recognizing it at all.
They're not. So that's very, like, I'm sorry that I'm kind of like, if I'm speaking very loud or angry and all that, I'm sorry, but I'm just like this is very emotional, and I'm quite sure that other people kind of feel this, but it's like with DC, like collectibles closing and all that, it's like, man, it's like,
yeah, no, we lost so much, and it's not even
like
funny.
a lot, and it affected individuals, and it's like when that happens, you sit there, and the first thing you do is you beat yourself up because you think about, what did I do wrong? What could I've done different?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a major business,
Yeah.
a multi-million-dollar business that is no more.
Yeah. Kaputs.
So it's like, that is just frustrating for me, and I just felt like, we were on the bench. It's like the team is running up and down the court on us, and we're just like letting them dunk after dunk after dunk on us, and we're just like letting it happen.
Yep.
We're just letting it go. And I just was not like, this is where my personal beliefs and my personal upbringing comes in. Like, I was not raised like that. I was not raised to just take it, but I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that was it. That was kind of like the frustrations that kind of went into all of that. And then after, and after like that blowback, it was, just things had to shift and change. And it was just like, I just don't understand. I do not understand what is all happening, what is all going on. And it was just like, hey, we're going to find another IP and all this other stuff. It was just kind of, for me, it was just kind of weird.
You're like, you lost DC. Like, what do you... Yeah, no, I got you, man. It's frustrating. It's weird. It's like, okay. All right.
It was just like, it was just a crazy time. And for me, just like, being there and then being away, and looking, that's just a really serious thing, and now, like, you have like other companies, other players involved and all that, and it's like, it just really, like frustrates me again to another degree. It's like, man, like, will the same thing happen again? Will other companies have their hands tied, and then they have to go through this and then put up subpar product, and then the consumer has to suffer and all this other stuff. And it's like, why can't why can't we why can't we do a new way of doing business where maybe a larger company doesn't do it, but maybe a smaller guy does?
Or a
You know,
group of smaller guys.
exactly. Who really are passionate, who really laser targeted, who really know and understand without having like honestly, Mattel was kind of revolutionary when they added like 4 horsemen on board as their creatives and everything.
That was a
Like
big thing.
that was some revolutionary stuff, but I think it went too long.
Mm-hmm.
I think the look of that style kind of went too long, and they went reliant on that, and it was groundbreaking. It was totally dope. Because if you think about it, like they introduced that really consistent style. Like Marvel Legends never had a consistent style.
You're right.
Never had a consistent style. DC established a nice consistent style. You know what I mean? And there was nothing wrong with that. That was their yang to the yang.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. But at some point in time, the yin and the yang just never, it just became very one-sided. And to me, it happened very early on. I remember, like, I'm sorry if I'm rambling, sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You're completely fine. Don't worry about it.
It's your birthday week, man.
Yes.
You're allowed to ramble.
Can everybody give David Vonner a happy birthday?
Thank you.
And I will sing, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
But I remember when DC was doing the 3 3/4 inch, and when I was at Hasbro, I was like, at first I was really scared, because I was working on that, and I was like, man, like they're already coming out with it, and people are already digging it, and it's like it's DC, so. But then it was like, man, yeah, like, this is only going to just help the business. Like you have to have the opposites. You got to.
Competition.
Right. But also, like, DC and Marvel just have a symbiotic relationship. I mean, they just do. It just is, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you slice it, from the cartoons to the movies to the comics to the everything, the fan base, one has to survive with the other.
Yeah, they've. I mean, it's been like that since the beginning. I mean, you have all the characters. I mean, even the creators have gone to one company and come back and created similar characters, like
or been inspired by.
Exactly.
Stories have been inspired by. And honestly, like I mean, going back to like the Green Arrow, and the Longbow Hunters, and Dark Knight, like DC got like dope stories, right? So it's just like, why do we have to have, like, I kind of, I dig that, that Spin Master and McFarlane are on board, but why continue to go through that when it's like, other passionate players in the game that could possibly do other things that can help propel the brand and the business as well?
Yeah, split the license up a little bit. Let everyone get a piece.
Right. But I mean, it's and I can understand that things can get very convoluted and everything like that. But it's just that when you have such a brand like DC and Batman, and it's been proven
Over and over again.
right, that Batman can just really keep going on and on and on. And the video games are super dope. Like the video games really reinvented, like, just what what Batman is even capable of, what he can do. I mean, It's just like, man, and that's totally by folks inspired by both the positive and negative of frustrations, of the love and the pain, the joy and the pain of what's going on with Batman and DC. It can drive you, creatively passionate or can drive you creatively insane.
It's very true.
Because it's Batman, you know, and you know, it's for a multitude of reasons we need Batman now more than ever.
Yep.
And so you know that whole collective feeling and emotion and everything else kind of went into that figure, you know, to the sculpt, to the paint, to the, you know, just everything, and with sheer hope that it can begin to turn things around. Even now, like that's why I kind of put it out there, because it's like we talked about it, but people would never know. But it's a different visceral reaction when you actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and instead of looking at the negative or like, man, this shouldn't have been shown or whatever like that, it should be looked at like, man, like we all collectively made a mistake. Let's learn from that mistake and push forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's find a new way of doing everything, of engaging, of being creative, of being the ambassadors of brands, of how we're going to develop IP, how to do it, everything. Like everything needs to be examined, because when you lose something like that, you know, even if you gain something like that, it's still like, yo, if they lost it, what can I do to keep it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like, so I dig the things that, you know, McFarlane is doing, like with the Batmobiles and all that. Like I dig it, because you have to introduce something, you know, new. You got to get that surprise crackerjack box kind of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you still want something, a cool toy.
Right.
That represents your imagination, your aspiration, your love, your joy. You just want that, you know, and that's what that figure is.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we're almost out of time here, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No. Don't apologize.
That was the whole point of this episode.
Yes. No, don't you dare apologize. Every time you're on here, it's worth it, man. Every second, every breath and word you speak, I love it. I can't get enough of it, sir.
Every breath you take.
You could say that. But
no questions, huh? No, not one.
You didn't allow us to ask any questions. I'll talk a little bit of smack about that. Like, it's like you're allowed to just go on your rants and raves, but then like, oh, no question time. It's because you talked the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Ernie, did you have a question for Mr. Vonner?
No, sir. I enjoyed hearing all this and knowing, you know, this came from love and what it could have been. It was a great episode. I know this was around the internet all weekend. A lot of people wondering the what ifs and why and how we could get it made. And we got to hear that backstory of it. And it's always good to hear the behind the scenes of, you know, all the labor that goes out in every figure and what could have been. This, yes, definitely could have been the definitive Batman. To hear behind it and everything, it was a great time. It was a great story to it. And maybe someday this still does happen.
Maybe.
I know people are asking in the chat, where's that prototype now? Or prototypes?
I don't know. You know, I would assume that is. I mean, once I handed it over to the director, it was like Hangover 2. Mattel has it now.
Well,
you know, it's like Bangkok got it now. Well, Mattel has it now. You know, so I mean, it's somewhere. I would hope. You know,
Vonner, Mervine, who runs the Toy Migos Facebook group and is absolutely awesome. He's down in your neck of the woods. He wants to know what the name of the comic book shop is that you go to all the time, because I've seen you post it. What is it?
Atomic Basement on 3rd and Elm, 4th and Elm.
There we go. Atomic Basement gets a plug. And
yeah, man, right. Atomic Basement.
You can go stalk Vonner at Atomic Basement.
Yeah, and Creative Lab too. It's like a dope spot, man. You can get your comics, your toys. You can draw there, play video games there, do D&D, all that. It's really cool.
Oh wow.
Man, Mike Wellman, he's a really
before we go, you do. We also need you to obviously this is a super obvious thing, but Chicken Burger Disco, who has the best name ever,
Yes.
brought this up in chat, and he said, "What kind of new stuff do you have cooking up?" So
Oh,
plug some stuff. Get yourself out there, because you
Ooh.
you need to.
well, yeah, we're going to be releasing some news coming shortly, but yeah, we just formed our own company where we're going to be doing, man, not just properties that people have been hoping for and wishing for, man, but also engaging and doing, forming new partnerships, new relationships, man, and doing new ways of business and getting it out there. It's like I learned a lot at these big companies as far as how they engage with with the whole licensor licensee relationship and how you engage with the fans and business and all that. So some things I agree with and some things I don't. So all those learnings is like we're going to apply that, and it's like, why not? Why not shake things up beginning with ourselves? So, and also there's other guys out there that's shaking it up too, like Boss Fight, Super 7. A lot of guys are doing stuff that's like totally like against the grain, and I love it. And we need more of that. And we have to do that, or huge catastrophes like losing major brands like DC is going to happen again.
I'm gonna do what Ernie always does for me, and I'm gonna say that you guys all got to go follow We Are Top 5 Toys. So We Are Top, the number 5 Toys on Instagram.
Here,
Or
why don't what
check them out, top5toys.com. I put them both in the chat, so you can check them out in chat. And then Cheney, are you gonna call them up too?
And they're right here, right?
Yeah, it's new. He's Vonner just started this. He's teasing. This is all just teases.
Oh, well, here, let me click follow
you don't
right
get
now.
to see anything that they're working on just yet. I have been lucky enough to have seen some of what he's been working on, and it's dope. But you guys can get in on the ground floor here by starting to follow them right now. And yeah, Vonner, go take it away. Go.
So you did an amazing job. You're an amazing pitch man. But yeah, I mean, it's just that we're working on stuff we're going to be rolling out soon, and it's 5 of us, and we got a classic MC as part of the group. It's really cool. So we're going to be doing some really fun stuff, some really cool activations, some fun engagements and everything, and it's going to be super dope, super fun. So stay tuned. We'll be dropping some new news very soon.
All right. Well, you are always welcome to come back and talk about this or anything else that you want to talk about.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Hopefully, I like to contribute to the swear jar. Hopefully, I didn't fill it up too much.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about that.
Chicken Burger Disco, you really do have
the best name, right?
The best handle known to man. Chicken Burger Disco. That is absolutely amazing.
Yes, it absolutely is. All right. Ernie, anything you want to add before we head out, sir?
No, thank you everybody for joining us. All of the chat migos, be sure and hit that thumbs up on your way out. We had 70 plus with us tonight. Remember to tell your friends to come re-watch this episode if they couldn't, and to enjoy it. Share with everybody. Remember to hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you know when we're back. We will be back tomorrow with another Quickie Mini at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then Thursday night will be our regular podcast show at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But this Thursday, we will also be ahead of schedule as we join Toying Around and doing his opening series. So that's
unboxing.
Unboxing.
Yes.
Whoa, Ernie. So wait, you're going to open a thing on video?
I thought I was just going to watch you guys, but I mean, that's, we'll see.
Oh, snap.
I think I might have to.
Colin Fett, the king of keeping it Ernie. Has everything in the box. Live unboxing.
I will.
We have a very generous super chat from Chicken Burger Disco. He says it's for Vonner's swear jar.
So we would like to thank Mr. Vonner for coming on. We greatly appreciate it. What a great time. Remember to share this with your friends so everybody can come back and see that. Don't forget to hit up We Are Top 5 Toys, along with Mortal Ruin and The Cursed Dead, along with toymigos.com and our Facebook page for all your toy news.
Yes. All
cool,
right.
Yo, thank you so much, guys.
Oh, thank you. And as always, I am Cheney 180.
I'm the Fallen Fett.
And I'm your friendly neighborhood prospect playing with myself.
And remember, guys, they're not dolls.